Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar today with JTrader, a stocks trader. It will be live. You will take positions. It is in demo paper trading mode. We'll talk a little bit more about that so that you know what you're getting involved with here. And did I start this? So that you know what you're getting involved with here. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it is in demo, and you learn how professional stocks trader uses Bookmap and order flow. In fact, we had a webinar yesterday with a futures trader, Carmine. You might want to take a look at that. Here's our YouTube page, and here's Carmine's webinar here. Really interesting. A young guy that just really has, I don't know, uncanny sense of how markets work. I don't know how he got all his knowledge. He's been trading for a while, but excellent information there. I might want to watch that. That was just yesterday. Anyway, today we're here with JTrader, stocks trader. You guys know who JTrader is. He does offer mentoring services. I'll put this into the chat so that you can check it out and contact him if you like. We got to go through the disclosures, and then JTrader will come in a few minutes. He's always finishing up his room at this time, so he'll be in a little bit later, about 5 or 10 minutes. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation demo paper trading mode and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Important to know that, and important to know that this is just for education. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in, and we're going to look at the S&P E-mini to begin with here until JTrader jumps in, and then he will do his presentation here. So we'll just kind of follow up on things here. You can see the cash open here. We'll move to the upside, but kind of still within some ranges here. Well, let's just take a step back here and kind of update from yesterday what we saw, we're looking for, it was right around this time here on the 15-minute chart yesterday, and very, very choppy environment. Okay, we noted that several times, and we were looking for kind of a, this was the move down. Okay, we were looking for the move down to this area around 38.75, and we did anticipate a bump up at that point. Okay, I was also looking for a few different scenarios of maybe potentially a gap fill, which is just filling right now. It's not a full gap fill. The full gap fill is up here, but the gap fill as well as the move lower. The move lower would be somewhere down in these areas down here, and we also looked at on the hourly chart somewhere a little bit lower in here, I believe. So anyway, we had our kind of higher time frame outlook on our levels, on our candlesticks, and our market structure here. Then we're looking for the order flow around those levels. Okay, so we did get the move back up. We get the move back down, and this is where it bumped up again. So it sustained it here. You see this cluster of volume down here, or this cluster of activity here. And let's, I don't know if I can really zoom in there. No. Well, yeah, a little bit here. So it's this cluster of activity here, and this is where we came back and retested. And it accepted above this area here. So this is what we look for in the structure. understanding that this here is no different than looking at some of the order flow within Bookmap. It's no different than looking at on a daily chart over here on the left, or the hourly chart here in the middle. Same ideas, same concepts, understanding price acceptance, rejection, and the order flow, the orders that make up this action here. That's what it's all about. Okay, so we saw some swing trading examples recently in Bookmap as well. Let's just take a look now and see what's going on in the current market. Well, you know, here's our move kind of back up on the hourly chart here. In the daily, we're just kind of in the middle of the range. Hourly, you know, we're looking for that, you know, it's kind of done this kind of partial gap fill here. It could come up further, and maybe it rejects off of this area. This is a good area up here. We were looking for it actually last week as well. Around this 39.75 is what we called it. We were looking for a move right up to it, I think on Friday it was. Anyway, looking at today's action here, well, okay, you know, you see the move up, you see some rejection up here. We're kind of in the range here. You know, here's our cash open down here, 930. So it's kind of bullish here. This definitely in the cash open, and it has accepted above this range here so far. You know, we'd be looking for, if the bears come in, we're looking for 39.25 or somewhere around in here. If the bulls come in, we're looking for retesting now, not only back up into this kind of 39.55 and this high here. At this point up here, we'd be looking to see if we can break it. Okay, because it's already tested up here. So we've already gotten one test. Now it pulled back. Now we're looking for the next test, and then we'd be looking for follow through to the upside. Okay, and we're just outlining scenarios here. When we get up here, or if we get up here, or if we look at the current market and we look at the order flow to come back up into here, then we're looking for the potential for the break, but we'll have to know at that time. All right, let's look at Bookmap. Let's dig in here to some of the details in the order flow. Yeah, here's our cash open. Okay, here's our pullback. Now look at the areas in here. This 39.40 liquidity, it did transact. 39.50 also transacting all over the place up here. 39.60 though has not yet. And then now let's read the order flow within this area, see how we've accepted above. And let's try to put some more structure on it here. Kind of difficult to put more structure on it, but we'll go with this 39.40 here and kind of mark that up. And you can see these are where the retests are, and we've been going back and forth in here, obviously. Now let's read the order flow in here. So first thing we're going to look at is the market structure in here. Okay? And we can take off the volume dots and just look at market structure. And I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off for the moment. Okay. Market structure, well, we made a higher high here, a lower high or lower low here, and then just kind of back and forth in here. All right, so now we did make a lower low in here in this kind of smaller range, and we don't really have too much insight here in this structure at the moment. And it's really kind of in the middle between the swings between here and here, no real insight yet. Now we can look for a move from the inside here on up to these edges here. So that's what we want to look at right now. Let's add the volume into, not the trading, the volume, and let's take a look at that. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'd be looking for these buyers here just based on the volume within this structure. Look for the buyers to try to test back up here to 52, maybe up to 55. All right, now the volume seems to be continuing here. We're above this little swing here already, looking for more buyers to continue. All right, now take a look at the selling in here as well. There's some pretty strong selling. So the first test would be up to where these sellers kind of initiated this selling. And then we need to see more buyers kind of overpower this strong selling and this move to the downside. See the strong selling up here to the downside, strong selling here to the downside. Okay, in fact, at the moment, in this structure here, from this point onward, sellers are in control. Okay, and also here, sellers are still in control from this time frame. Now, buyers are in control down here. Right, so the overall trend is still up at the moment, but we're looking at smaller trends within it. And then we want to understand not just where is that volume trading in that structure, but now we're going to add the third element, and we're going to look at the heat map here. Okay, so where's their liquidity? All right, so here they are right up here at 39.50, the figure. Let's look and see if we can get enough buyers to test up into 39.50, right? Due to what we saw in here with this buying pressure coming in. So here they're coming. All right, now I'm looking for them to trade up into here and to test up into there. We're looking for more green dots here. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. I don't like seeing, I want to see more buyers come in on the bid here and see how they're not. This allows sellers to trade it right back down to 43 here. Okay, so a little bit of a skew in the auction would be great. And also maybe them to pull here. Here they go. See there's the skew at 45. See them come in. Look at their reaction. That's what we're looking for. Now we're looking for our test. Okay, that's understanding the auction in here. Okay, now that happened quickly, but we didn't have much. We knew we had the volume. We didn't have the order book on our side. Okay, they could have traded down here to 43. And once we saw this come in here and we saw the reaction to this liquidity was buyers, great. We're looking for 50. We can even get up into, well, it's already traded 50. Looking to see if we even get up into the swing up here and maybe even our 55 level. Okay, now the order flow is dynamic. It's always shifting and changing. And so let's see what's going on in here. Okay, they're coming back in. Now these guys though down here at 45, see how they pulled when price came down? So they're pretty fickle. We're still getting more our buyers in here. All right, here's our skew in the order book. Great. Let's see them trade up into some of this liquidity up in here, 53 3/4 and 55. We're looking, here they are again in the order book at these higher levels here, and we're finding buyers. So we're still looking for this to continue. Look at the order book now and look at the reaction. So we're still looking for 55. Now they're pulling here now at 51, and we're finding a few sellers now. It's not over yet. Let's see if we get enough buyers back up here again. And we are. Order book again. All right, buyers, let's see if you got it here. Yep, see now these guys in here, watch this be a stop run to the upside. We might even get to 60 now because we have fuel in here. We have sellers in here. Good morning, Joseph. There you are. Okay, let's guys, Joseph is here. Let's turn it over to Joseph and some stocks, and we'll go over that. Was there any questions in here? Yeah, it looks like Chop Wizard. Yeah, we're getting something. Something's kind of happening here. Yeah, it's not too much commitment on the buy side. There's some. It's doing it, but you can see that the selling pressure also starting to come in a bit too. I'm looking for someone to get trapped in here though and see the nice move up into 60. All right, so anyway, that's just one of the scenarios to go through. Let's turn it over to Joseph and let him take it away. Hold on a minute here, and now get his screen. Hey Joseph, if you could present your screen there.
Good morning, traders. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Good, buddy. Very, very good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just going through some S&P here, but can't wait to see what you come up with the stocks.
Okay, so just give me a second. I'm gonna prepare over here my monitor, and then we'll start with the screen share. Today we have the FOMC traders, so remember, I'm gonna be a little bit conservative. All right. Can we start, Bruce?
Yeah, yeah. I don't see your screen yet, Joseph.
Okay, let me see if now it's fine. Can you see it?
Yeah, now I got it, and we are all good to go.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. Um, this morning, small caps are very flat. I'm break even this morning, coming from two good green days. I didn't trade still huge size because I really didn't like this market. We had only one main gapper this morning in small cap land, which was Eleave. Eleave over here is a stock that never traded high volume. So if you look over here in the past, we can see that we never traded more than 2 million volume, just like back in the days over here, last June. The sending stock, you can take a look at also the stats. So we're going to check over here the stats 2 seconds. And also the news, which I believe is one of the most important factors, especially if you trade small caps. So we're going to check over here Eleave, and then we're going to see the price action today on the stock. So it's a biotech company, and this morning over here, they were saying Elevation gets FDA fast track designation. So every single time that we have a fast track designation, these stocks tend to fail. It's not a micro float. We have around 10 million float. The institutional is 49%. So what can you tell me, traders, about institution? A 49% is a pretty high or low institutional. Really, try to interact with us. So even, for example, I know this is screen shared on YouTube. So try to interact with us. Tell us your opinion. It's a high ownership. So Razor over here, thank you, Razor, for participating with us. Exactly. High institutional ownership means we have to be careful because when we have high institutional ownership, we know that longs can, I would say, absorb generally on the bid, all right, on support, and then try to push the stock high. This is a type of manipulation. Of course, won't happen every single time, but remember that when we have this percentage above 40 or even 45%, I'm always like, more careful to take short, right? And this morning we had, I would say, complete example of this holding bids. And then we'll see. Financially, this company is crap, doesn't have revenues, has a negative net income, burning ratio per month 4.6 million. We can see history. We have no gappers in the past, only this one gapper, but was a very low volume. So let's look at the price action. I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna take off candlesticks, my volume dots. Perfect. All right. And you can add MBBIO. I use more things than this, right? But I want to keep it over here pretty simple for you traders so that you can follow pretty good, I would say, the price action. So what we had over here, morning resistance was at 450. Now look with me. When we had this push, you can see over here that we had, I'm going to zoom in, we had a breakout of that 450. So in this case, we call this clear out, right? means that we have a lot of longs over here participating, and they're simply breaking out of 450. I can tell you that at the same moment over here, we had also buyers from chat rooms and from newsletters. And over here, just look at what happened. We started like having the same top being traded like multiple times. So they were trying to push over here between 455, 458. And you can see over here, they tried, but some exhaustion in those tops around 458. And then you can see that from all these blue, right? All these blue dots over here that you can see, we start like having more sellers participation. Once we failed just below that 450, this is the most important part of the chart, we started to see sellers. So sellers joining in, then they tried again a second time over here, 946. Just on this pop, you see this pop? They try again to go break the 450 over here at 946 time. They try to break this, and then right away, sellers join. And at a certain point, we started seeing traders, a big sellers above at 450. So over here, at this 450. So big seller. This golden zone that you see over here is I would say, a distribution pattern. We can see trendline break. These down wicks over here didn't really happen, all right? Not even this up wick. I saw this on all brokers, and you can have a feel over here. So we had a push over here to 450, 446, this level, and then again, you can see the sellers in control. But this sell-off was very, very slow. I mean, over here was very slow. Everything was very slow. I took a couple of trades. I didn't have the, I would say, big size. And then I started seeing like a little bit more sellers at 441. So you see, this was pretty interesting. And then another big seller. So they were like tapering down this, and we are exactly in this this area, 954, 955 time over here. And then once we saw the VWAP, you can see they tried the first time the break, which is this bar over here. And then they pushed it back up to 441. And then they came down, they pushed back up, boom, wash. Look over here, only sellers, only sellers. And then they try to bounce it back up. So you can see again, buyers stepping in. And it's always this like, cycle. It's like a wave. First you have like a seller, then like a bounce over here. Now you will have sellers, then bounce, and so on. Volume is super weak. But again, remember, we are trading a high institutional ownership stock. So they tend generally to have, we say, more manipulation. And often you will find some good absorption in this. So anybody traded today this stock? Okay, see, the majority of traders probably waited for the FOMC and everything. So I prepared something today to give to you traders, which is this, and this is in preparation for your trading. So it's how the mindset and the preparation of the trader are important in your trading. The first thing I do every single morning is look in the scanner. And I start looking at, this is for small caps, but I start looking at the same thing for big caps. I start looking at the same thing for futures with different, I would say, variables. So I'm looking for the market cap below 600 million, price between 1 and 20, and the gap above 30%. This morning, the only decent gap, as I was saying, was this E-leave, right? Nothing else. We had a lot of day 2, day 3, like RDBX, GOVX, and so on. Then I'm looking at the news event, just like we did a few minutes ago. And I start looking if we had important recycle fluff or no news. What I said before, fast track designation often tends to fail, all right? The third part is looking at the history of the chart. So we've seen, for example, over here on E-leave, that we don't have any kind of big volume the stock is downtrending, and I'm really not looking for any kind of, I would say, long in a scenario like this. Of course, because we didn't have that huge amount of flow rotation versus the float, which is 10 million, and because we don't have a big catalyst. All right. The other point is looking for the stats. So, for example, over here, Razor, Mick Loco, and others that are following us. Let's say that you want to trade a stock like, I would say like SIGA, a stock that could go even in 2-3 days, 200-300%. So this is what happened in the past. So today we have another gap. You see this stock, and then you see the stats of the stock that on 5 gaps with at least 10 million volume traded that day, we faded 5 times. Of course, your first idea will look too short, not really too long, right? So you'll wait for that pattern, okay? Because often pattern, I would say, reoccur over time. Then you start looking at financials. So to see if the company is healthy or not. Gap stats again. Dilution, which is a very important catalyst. For example, GOVX yesterday. And then you're looking at that pattern. Pattern where what I will look for. Intraday support resistance. I will look for the pattern to trade. And then eventually, after this, so this is the trading preparation, I will have my second preparation, which is called the tactic. And for the tactic, I'm going to trade exclusively with my chart patterns and with Bookmap next to it. So every single trade that I will take in this market, all right, it will be together with my chart pattern and with Bookmap together. So if I'm looking, for example, this morning at GOVX, GOVX is one of those clear examples of small caps that if you look at the stock, tends to fade. I mean, we're not talking about a stock like in the past on Apple. In the last 4 or 5 years, always came up, great, a weekly uptrend. No, we're talking about a stock that is simply using dilution as their primary form of, I would say, making revenues, raising money. Yesterday we had warrants around 326, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can be more correct than me, but I believe it was 326. And I was waiting the moment to short. So I brought this overnight. I was looking at this price action. And I was looking at a main thing over here that I often see. It came to this 330. So they had a breakout like this over here, right? You see the break of a high liquidity. So the break over here of this 330. And it peaked. Remember, warrants were at 326, if I'm not mistaken. I believe 326. And then right away they slam it down, like on this bar, slam it down. And over here they start really like to exercising those warrants. Warrants are contracts, issued by the company at a certain price. So, for example, you have warrants 326, you need 326 on the bid in order to be exercised. So why company do this? They sell the warrants and everything, even to investors. So they tell the investors, you can buy our warrants for a much cheaper price, but only if the price goes into that, I would say, bid, then you can exercise and you can make money. I know, for example, some funds invest on small caps doing this type of job. And I spoke to these and they told me 80% of the warrants they invest, they basically go to zero. But those 20% they might have like 2, 3, 4, 500% wins, right? So that's the reason why to buy warrants. Of course, you have to be, I would say, with a very high propensity to risk. And this morning we had a very difficult, I would say, scenario. And I had a good short. I had a very good short. So over here, this is one of the setups that I really like. Just over here, the price section. And I wanna screenshot this for you traders. And I want to mark up over here. Meanwhile, next to me, there's Mabia there. She's still trading. So we are looking at this level. So I'm looking at levels of supply and demand. I made a video a couple of years ago, another one 6 months ago, explaining about supply and demand together with Bookmap. So I was looking for these levels that you can see on my chart, right? And we can put a lot of levels over here, supply. And then I start looking where we have bookmap resistance. And I was looking bookmap over here at, you can see at 260 and then at 275, right? So very, very simple approach. Looking at the levels on our chart, and I use a 1 minute, 5 minutes, and a 50-minute chart in the day plus an hourly. And then I start looking at bookmap. So the first part of our move over here, I saw a lot of volume over here. You can see buyers, 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 until we go exactly into this high volume area, all right? So we're talking about this 260. So over here we had a breakout. Often we have these clear outs, but then right away, these longs get stuck. And then you can see that we really miss any kind of liquidity. We don't have any more buyers, where they went. So right away, instantly, this, you can see this wick over here is this. We don't have any more like buyers. And then from this moment over here, from the 254, sorry, over here, pardon, over here, from the 254, we have sellers in control. So assume that you're long and you're buying over here the dip for any reason you want. When you see something like this, be very careful holding your position. Because right now, you start seeing only sellers, right? I don't see over here really buyers, maybe some covers, few buyers over here that there were like, maybe from morning with limits. But this is a big fail. And where they go to fail on this main support, 230, which was, you can see over here, the previous day close, right? So all the things, all the levels form like a puzzle. So we push into a daily resistance. First thing, right? So the first thing with daily resistance. The second thing, we have bookmap confirming supply. The third thing, we have our shift between demand and supply. So buyers and sellers. The fourth thing, we go to the previous day close, which is an important level. Fifth, we have the confirmation of that low being a demand zone also over here because we have demand. Okay. Yeah, that's inside of both. Okay, look at anything else. Yeah. In the meantime, traders, I'm looking over here next to me, Maria, because she's trading E-Leave. So she's getting some shorts. Yes. She's also short on GOVX. She's also short on GOVX. All right, let's see if we have more. RDBX. Don't underestimate the stock. The stock runs on SSR today. It's still having a very low volume. We're gonna do like this. All right. And you can see just at a glance over here. Just look the difference between RDBX and E-Leave. So traders, whoever, even over here, I see a lot of people on YouTube. So what is the main dot that you see over here in E-Leave? Is the blue or the magenta? Or even traders over here on Discord?
Sellers.
Exactly. So we have traders, sellers in control. All morning we had sellers over here, right? Now, if I look instead on RDBX, look at the difference in this. We have a different price action. We're uptrending. But then if you look also over here at the color, the main color that over here we have on our chart is the blue. So buyers are in control, right? Just look over here again. Sellers in control, buyers in control. And this is what has to make you understand, on a stock like this, you're not looking to short. So I tried to short this morning 2 times over here in these peaks. And I had one small stop and one scratch. Basically because we were shorting into daily resistances, right? So I was looking over here at this main level of resistance between 550 and 560. So over here, on these pops to 560, I started seeing some selling pressure. I joined over here. VWAP bounce, and then I cut. You can see over here, once we had the VWAP, right away we have a high volume, reason to cut. I'm not really looking to hold it. Then I start looking at the stock that came exactly to another daily resistance, 620, but I didn't short. Didn't short for the reason that we have SSR, and I still saw a lot of volume over here. Now we start seeing a little bit of seller at this 620, but that's for me not really an A+ setup because this is an overextended play. We have a good volume for a $6 stock. We're still holding over here the VWAP, so I prefer over here to wait. You can see a support. Now, if we get to this 580, so where you can see over here that we have the last heat map, I'm looking for ideally a long pattern. Or if you go instead above 620 and consolidate above, this could squeeze even more. Remember, we have an SSR on. So SSR, okay, can really trap a lot of shorts. Okay, traders. So let's go back over here on eLeave. And then we're gonna cover also Tesla and the big caps. So eLeave, as we said before, big sellers. We had a short setup over here, just in this resistance. You can see over here this 415, 420 resistance. And this is a trade I called and traded before. So now, if the volume will be weak and low, I'm gonna wait for 380 and eventually over here at 350. So I'm always looking at the price action. And I'm looking where we have the majority of support. So 380, we have my band, and 380 over here I have my level of support with heat map. So I'm gonna cover possibly a partial over here at 380. And then over here we have another support around 360. So I'm gonna cover the partial down here. So watching eLeave, watching RBDX, GOVX. Well done, buddy. Well done, Ryan. So let's look over here. Still sellers in control. One suggestion, if you don't have, I would say, other resources, like, you don't already have it on your broker, you can put over here times and sales. All right. Now we're going to need to stay below this 4 because, as we said before, we are with this resistance at 418. We have another resistance over here at 4. So I'm looking for, ideally, traders, another small push to this 4. Would like to see a little bit more heat map over here. So more sellers adding to my position and then looking for that 380 and lower. So let's see if we're going to have this this pattern over here. It's bidding at 399. I don't see a big amount of liquidity over here, right? It's just a technical resistance, but I don't see a big seller just at 4 placed. Okay, RDBX. Remember what we said before. We're breaking the trend line. I'm looking and waiting this 584. I'm not entering really before. And again, buyers in control. Buyers in control. Another trend line break coming. But again, I didn't have my level over here, so I'm waiting a little bit. We had some buyers around the VWAP over here at 589. I'm not in yet, so I'm not looking to short this. I'm only looking to long if we're going to stay above that 580. I'm looking for long positions over here. And ideally want to see this 582, 584. So what we have often, we have the breakdown the VWAP and then reclaim. Break on the VWAP and then reclaim. That is my way to go over here. They're trying to bid a little bit more. Check traders over here, this 604. I'm looking over here at all these blue, right? So all these buyers. We're going to put also over here times in sales. So when you want to have the previous template, just go over here. And then you're going to put simply this. So inherit from the chart you want. And this is exactly how I have it on eLeave. So this pattern that I'm trading is called overextended play. All right. We have on the hourly chart, this is my hourly chart. You can see that the first part of the chart over here is all green. So I'm buyer over here. The second part of the chart is all red. Then over here, the third part of the chart is all green, right? And now we have this resist 620. If we break this, we're going to have this probably by tonight or tomorrow at 7. So I'm looking if we can break the 620, consolidate above and push, or below 580, this will unwind. Some sellers you can see around 604. No, this was.
See if it gets there.
It's consolidating over here around 597, 598, 599. They're making higher low. There we are, breakdown. Again, dip on the VWAP. Watching over here closely. Want to see ideally to have a fake breakdown of the VWAP over here. So a bear trap right away replaying. This will be a manipulation type 2 and type 3 from my playbook. So I'm looking for this 585, 580. Okay, so start looking over here. Again, they're trying to attack at 6. Liquidity is pretty low right now. Before we had some very big volume, around 500K per minute as well. Then we had over here a peak around 350. Now volume is super low. So a little bit more conservative. I'm also watching a Tesla today, but I'm not really looking to trade big caps because we have the FOMC in a couple of hours. So I'm going to stay over here with RDBX. They're pushing green right now. You can see buyers. Trying to break of this 506. Careful because this is full of shorts that are trapped from early morning. And we can have over here a break of the 620 today and push strong, all right? So careful shorting something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even over here.
Yeah.
Look, these orders over here, they really seem like an algorithm going from the 585. You can see they're canceling, and then they're like always pushing a little bit higher, 593. So the same thing yesterday on the same stock. This is already 5-6 days that is in play. Again, back down, and probably we're going to go to the J lines. So watching for that. Yeah, that is. The only thing is above. RDBX going to support. Let's see over here. I'm looking at this 584, 586. Now we don't have anymore a lot of liquidity. This buyer over here, 581, 580 canceled. We have more sellers at 608, now more 605. So careful over here. Only if I have over here a high liquidity zone, so a big demand zone, I will look to start longing over here into this area. All right. Why? Because we have this demand zone. And over here, I'm looking, traders, for same thing. I'm looking for that area over here for a dip buy. So I may be wrong, but this is a possible scenario. So look over here, could possibly start doing like this and then push the upside, right? So remember what we can have over here. So we can have this pattern. When they sell, there's no really anybody that wants to sell. So I'm putting over here on Bookmap Peru the possible scenario that I'm watching. Still pushing to the highs.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary, for following us. 596 careful over here. Why? This seems like a distribution pattern, right? In this case, we have a flag, a bear flag, just in a downtrend. This is our bear flag that I'm watching. So let's see if we're going to have this dip. And then, as we said, we're going to look for that reclaim, right? So 1055 is always getting a little bit tighter and tighter and tighter over here. Check this 593. I need 3 over here to see them all.
Yeah.
Nice resistance on Tesla at 650. Remember, main daily resistance. This is And you can see over here the first rejection on that supply zone, right? So when I'm taking trades that I'm buying or shorting, I want to see this kind of pattern. We go to test that resistance and we reject. So let's go back to RDBX. This is our trade, and I'm looking at, as I said, for a long trade today. May seem lateral, it's true, but I can tell you that the stock that we're following right now is this, right? Even 2 days ago on the 23rd, we were holding the support you saw over here, right? And this was a fake breakdown on the VWAP, and then right away we went to reclaim it with high volume. This pushed like a buck, yeah, almost a buck and a half, like a buck over here. And the day before, and the morning over here, pushed like $2. So in really like a short time, the stock can really move fast and give you a pretty good return on your investment. So on the support.
Yeah.
Tesla breakouts in the meantime. So you see over here, they tested another time 650, 650 with these bars over here, and then break out to the upside. These are bars 1 minute that you see on Bookmap. So I use sometimes dots, sometimes I use candlesticks.
Nice strength there.
Yeah, and I like also this this pattern over here. Each bar making higher low. So like a small wedge over here or ascending triangle. And look over here, this big breakout coming in. Also, yes, over here bouncing. We grabbed some yes this morning over here, Bruce, around 39 and 40. So decent move.
If you could go over that, there's just kind of a little bit of chatter back and forth in YouTube there, and you know what you're looking at, because why wouldn't you take this breakout trade?
On Tesla.
It's not your plan. I mean, maybe go through a little bit of
Yes,
your plan.
I tell you guys that we went over this a lot of times. So more than 50% of the breakout trades you will take, you'll get like the top. All right. So imagine that there are big hands playing. There are market makers playing. So they know exactly how you think. And the most common obvious, I would say, analysis are where they're gonna try to trap you. So a lot of bull traps in this market. This is my long setup. So I prefer to buy over here than buy over here. Now we are in streaming screen share from 10 o'clock. Of course, I cannot direct you to that long, but that's a long setup. All right. Over here, you can see, just put the view up, you can see the fake breakdown of this level, right? So everything that I have over here, only these are only scalps, nothing more than that, right? So scalps, and not an A+ setup where I can simply tell myself, oh, I'm gonna load the boat over here. All right, so these are only like scalp setups. All right, let's continue to watch over here. So we're going to look at Tesla and RDBX. Now I'm going to look at my chart, and I'm going to look for the resistances. Remember, we spoke at the previous times how to look for levels on your chart of interest. So looking for high volume areas, then you have to double check them with Bookmap. All right. So next resistance 657 technically. With Bookmap, we have over here 660.
See, kind of in my style, I would have taken the breakout, Joseph. In hindsight, that's so obvious to say, but like, I don't trade stocks though. It's very, very different. And your style is you wait for the breakout, wait for the pullback, two areas of your trend indicators there, like your J lines, and then you're positioning yourself.
Yeah. My scalp over here trade is at 653, exactly this level, but this is a scalp. So I'm not really trying to show scalps over here. I'm trying to show A+ setups. I can tell you this, traders, because I've been trading Tesla since the day it came out, and my win rate this year is more than 82% for 4.2 profit R. So what I'm saying is I would say back-tested system that I've been trading, me and also my mother over here next to me, for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, you guys could open up a trading floor and be market makers for Tesla if you wanted.
Actually, buddy, we're open over here a trading floor. Somewhere in my office
Are you really? You're gonna do it?
Yeah,
Wow.
where we're gonna do a live mentoring session with private elite traders at my place.
Nice, very nice.
So look over here now. Two things that I wanna show you. Let's add to this chart the VWAP. So everybody knows, as you can see over here, all the VWAPs I have. And we're gonna add over here an exponential moving average. Let's see, we're gonna put over here this. So, okay, two things that I use in my trading, right? Now, why I said to you traders that this would have been my, scalp. Because as you can see, like I said before, I'm looking for the breakout of 620 on RDBX and consolidation and move up. Once we have this break over here, 650, I'm looking for small tight consolidation. We spoke about the last time, those small curls. This is a small curl that I trade. I believe I made even some videos on my page about this. Yeah. And I'm looking to buy this area here when I start seeing the small inflection. All right. And this small inflection is this over here. So small bar. And then you can see over here the breakup. But this for me is only a scalp. Like for me, a scalping short over here around 657, 657 and 50. Why? Because we see a big liquidity over here. I start seeing this bar forming red. So this is a scalp trade. Today, I'm not looking to show you scalp trades. If possible, I want to show you, I would say, A+ setups. But I hope that I would say what I'm explaining over here is useful. For example, this was a breakout of an important level of 140, right? What they do, they push and they stuffed it. So if you have a breakout, but that breakout doesn't consolidate above, then your breakout can be a fake out, right? So think about twice before buying a breakout. That's very, very, very important. So over here we have MacLoco asking GME. All right, buddy. So glad that you asked me about this. So GME, I believe, is one of the best stocks to trade if you are like looking for manipulation and I would say high volume, high volume squeezes. So perfect breakdown. And over here, squeeze this morning. But now we have this resistance. This resistance, trend is still down. The only way that I'm looking over here to trade this is for a short side. Because look, this momentum, right? So each time we basically touched this line over here, we came down. So today I will be looking for a short up here. Okay. Let's go back to Tesla. So you see Tesla is still in my downtrend. So the other reason why I'm not taking position long is because I'm swinging this short. I've been calling this every single day. You know, all those levels over here is where I shorted. Tesla 1 minute. So we have my band around 675, this area. And then if I'm looking over here, the stock, we have the main supply in the same area over here. So that hypothetically 668, 678 could be the target for this long. All right. So hypothetically, this could be the, I would say, the target for this long today. I have to do something. Traders, start looking at RDBX. They're going to do something. Trust me, they're going to do something. They're going to do something over here. J-Line's dip, I just missed a long. That's my long. That's my long. That's my long. That's the reason why I never go away from your chart. That's my long. All right, Bruce, you see the beautiful over here dip. Buyers coming. That is reversal pattern. You enter with a very low risk, 94 to 95. So now let's see if we can have an entry over here.
Yep, dip below into your J lines. Strong buying coming out.
Yeah. Yesterday, or sorry, 2 days ago, Bruce, this was consolidating for like really a couple of hours. It really seemed dead, you know. They were trying to sell, and I could see so much good absorption over here on these dips. So they were selling, boom, reclaiming. They were selling, boom, reclaiming. They were selling, boom, reclaiming. And why? Who was selling, traders? I believe more than long stepping out, these were short sellers shorting into the weakness, which is like buying breakouts. You know, you cannot never buy breakouts like over here. You're going to get stuffed in the majority of these scenarios. Then, of course, you know, one or two will go. But on the long term, the long run, why chat rooms don't work? Because the majority of chat rooms, they just call like long breakouts, daily levels, pre-market highs. And the majority of the time, what happened? You'll be like stuck, and then you will say, oh, I'm always losing. Trading doesn't really work. Of course, because you're following the wrong, I would say, patterns, right? Instead, understanding the price action, understanding over here how to read the order flow, you can avoid all this and become, I would say, have an edge versus the market. So long consolidation over here, long consolidation. Let's see if we can have a secondary dip, all right? Let's see if we can have a secondary dip. These are better than this.
Which one?
These and these.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
These are good for these levels.
No, when we open up, you just do that.
And Joseph, would you? I guess it depends on your positioning, but like, I mean, it's a pretty, you know, in a range-bound trade like this, you know, playing your strategy, it's very, very high probability it'll trade to the other side of the range. Most likely, would you take some profits up there?
Let's say if I was long and this came to this high.
Correct.
Okay, I have like, you know, my risk management that if I'm risking 1 hour, so I'm risking this low. Generally, I will keep it few cents below heat map. So let's say that my risk over here is 6 cents. And then it goes up. And my target over here is this previous high, which is at least 12 cents. I can trim something, but in order for me to sell the first big partial, I will look to see if we can get to this main level, which is the previous high. So, of course, this is 1 hour already for me, profit. If it comes back to break even, I'm gonna get out unless I have over here enormous buyer. All right. So in that case, of course, yes. On GOVX this morning was extremely, I would say, let me see where I saw it. No, GBX, ELV, sorry. Over here. Okay. So this is one of the washouts that I like to buy. All right. I'm gonna put 1 second the stock so you traders can understand. This is a setup that I suggest you really to study it. It works extremely good in high, or say, volume context. So this morning we had a push into this main liquidity, 450. We're talking about 942. So this bar over here, right away, is slammed down over here, just below the VWAP. And you can see the sellers. So this is a fake washout. When we were reclaiming the previous support, now resistance, which is this 430 level. And then you can see also micro curl. So this is the zone where I like to long. But if I long over here, and this is my risk, so I have like 10 cents risk, that from my, I would say, stats, I'm looking at least for 2R. So I want to see 20 cents profit. In this case, this move here for me is 20 cents. So over here, I would only trim something because I want a little bit more. The risk management would tell me, okay, we're stuffing just below this level. I'm going to get out entirely. And if I instead I have accumulation over here, so what, for example, I'm looking, oh, sorry, traders, we have to look RDBX. Then in that case, I will add RDBX. Let's see. So we can have a possible push. You can see now curling good, right? If 6 or 8 goes away, we can have a big push. I will try to long over here on that push, just having a tight stop in case of a fake out. We are not the high of the day, so this is not the breakout. Some big liquidity, that's 608, that has to be removed. See what I'm there?
Yeah. Just 5 minutes.
The rejection of the 608, no long over here. So for another time, sellers jumped in. But again, you have to look at your charts and wait for that moment. I also wait not only for the correct moment to trade, but for the correct moment when I have a very low risk to trade. Because I can have the same setup, but one trade could give me, for the same dollar stock, right, can give me let's say a 15 cents risk. And another trade, the same setup, same dollar stock, can give me a 5 cents risk. Of course, I will try to size up where I have only a 5 cents risk. All right? Of course. Is this clear, guys? Because often we talk about, entries, we talk about exits, but we never talk about how important risk management. The only reason why I can still trade after so many years and be profitable is about risk management. And when I use Bookmap, this is the key in helping me in finding the correct way to trail, to have a better risk reward, where to stop. This is the reason why I use it. I want to share something that I posted the other day, and it's basically this. So a trader asked me, why do you use Bookmap? All right? Why do I use Bookmap? And I can answer with this. Okay, so in the meantime, over here, I took some long at 608. Why? Because we have a clear of that liquidity. Now I'm risking the 608 as well. So I'm long 608, I'm risking 608. I want to see the 625. So I am already in profit because I'm risking break even, right? But this probably is going to rip to 620, 625. Now it's 614. I'm never looking at P&L, so this is my process. I'm explaining you, but I generally like to keep quiet. I keep control. I always look over here, only the order flow, the prints that I have. This is management in live. I see over here previous resistance around 620. So I already tried to put my ask sell partial over here around 25%. I see still bidders stepping in. Big bidder 618, gut feel 620. So 25% out of 620. Let's continue to go. Next target 640. I'm going to share this in the room after execution and everything. So now I'm better because I have this liquidity that is my risk. So I have still 3/4 of my position in. 630. Our enter is 620. So that's the reason why I said wait for your entry. This is a reversal bar, so careful. What I'm going to do, I'm going to trail a 50% if we lose 618. You see that big support? We have 145,000, all right? So what I can do over here is this. Trying to add a little bit is 620. I try to add over here in the dip is 620 traders. And what I'm going to do, if we fail, so I added more over here 620 on the dip. If we fail the 620, I'm out completely. Or at least, let's say, half of my entire position. And now I have a new average, so I have to remember to never risk more than my average. Okay? I start to see a possible seller coming in. Let's see if 620 they're trimming. Yes, yes, they're selling over here. Careful. Gonna be fast. So it's important to look over here. I'm out that 50%. So in the money, and now I'm holding only 25% of my initial position plus the ads. So each time I sell, I make money. I'm never looking P&L. I don't care. My mind is, if this goes at 8, I still want to have size. So I still need to find levels where I want to recycle, add to my position more size. I start seeing over here more dots, prints, magenta. So I start thinking right now, what is my setup going to be? Where I have to trail? Is my entry still correct? Is my bias still correct? All of these answers have to be automatic while you're in your trade. I have a precise list of what I'm researching and keeping under control when in a trade. Now, my goal is to see the 620 holding. If I see that spoofing, right, so canceling right away, what I'm going to do, I'm going to trail more, but not entirely, because often what they do, they faked a breakdown and then they reclaim strong to the upside. So let's see 620, focus on that level and focus on the 640. Why 640 is a daily level fib that I'm looking at. Just wanted to show you that over here. This is the first 620, 620. Let's see. They're selling 100,000 shares over here still. So always think, somebody, there we are, you see? Now I shorted. I took the short at 620. So I took the short 620. Again, I will share all my entries and exits in Bookmap. I'm covering right here partial at 610. Perfect. So what they did, 620, you can see over here, we had 100K immediately. The 100K went down to 2,000 shares. Boom. Time over here, 10,000 shares. Time over here to short for a scalp. And using the risk of 620 with a target over here of 595. The same time, bear just entered over here on GOVX again. So she's shorting this all the way down. Why she's short on GOVX? Look at that beautiful heat map. Perfect heat map. Oh, sorry, ELEVE over here. Sorry, ELEVE. Lower high at 408. Pardon, my beer. Big sellers over here on RDBX. So let it go down. So now I'm using the stop break even. Okay, leave perfect. So my beer had a good read over here. She shorted at 407, boom, wash 395. Beautiful read on Bookmap. So over here, long and short. So holding risk BA. And you have to risk break even because, as we said, this is SSR. So it's a high volume stock. SSR, for who doesn't know, short sale restriction, you can only get filled on the ask. So for example, you have to sell, I suggest you to sell on the ask so that if you want to reverse a position, you can immediately like short also on the ask and get filled like in this fast reversal. It's a little bit like a harder, I would say, concept in trading. So right now what I'm going to do.
That's what you saw though, Joseph, right?
Sorry?
You saw the on the ask the large liquidity, or if you can zoom into that area,
yes,
because
here,
you saw it.
When I was exactly. When I was seeing these pops, I could see some big sellers stepping in. And then when we have the support, it trimmed. What do? You try to sell on the ask. Of course, not always you will get filled because you have like micro upticks. And then when it washes, it simply washes over here. ELEV was a better example. ELEV of a short into a resistance. And I don't need to say, Bruce, what the resistance was this. Beautiful fade. Let's look back at Tesla. So 660. Still holding this as 6056. Yeah, Tesla. And let's go back over here to see RDBX. So they're not done. If we're going to hold over here 620, remember, target today will be 7. Possible breakout coming. A lot of buyers over here. You can see. Start looking for a push to 640 where we were looking before, and then 650. There we are. Now 640 is the target. We're to sell partial, put a stop break even. Tape is completely green. Big buyers over here on the flow. This could push like even 680 or 7 right now. Wrong over here. There we are, 650. Now, we want always to see buyer, so the big over here heat map pushing up. So we want to see this moving probably 630 or 635, holding the price up. And everything started from the J lines. So when I said before, look for the price action, look for the consolidation. Remember when I said it can be very slow, it can take even hours. And remember what I told you before, look at that picture. Let's repost it over here. So now you see what I told you to do, sorry, what I told you was possible. Exactly the same pattern that I called. Dip into the J lines, push over here. 50 cents up from where we called it. All right. Any question, traders, on this? Because this is really like how to buy longs in small caps. Next time we're going to make, actually, previous time we made like how to trade big caps as well. So, or we're going to do soon with options with Bruce. So this is how to manage the position. Right, we spoke about this, spoke about stop losses. This is how to really predict the price action on a long and take the whole move.
Yeah, beautiful example, Joseph.
Look that blue over here. Now, remember before, Bruce, when we were talking about leave, right? And we were looking over here, look, this huge amount of sellers. And now look this, a little bit different, right? So different type of, I would say, price action and order flow. I mean, look this is beautiful. Look these buyers over here. All right, guys. All right, so 11:30 over here. Any questions? Bruce, we have any questions?
It's been kind of sporadic, but Tibor, I think we just kind of covered that about the spoofing. It was the SSR and the what Joseph saw on the ask there. No, I think we're pretty good in YouTube. Let me see over in Discord. There were some questions, or McLocal had wanted to take a look at your thoughts on GME.
We did it. We did it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was yeah, quite a while ago.
Okay. No, not that one. This over here. All right. So traders, again, hope you enjoyed the webinar. Go rewatch it, especially about the process of how we, I would say, anticipated the fact that this was going to be a long. For anything else, you can reach out to me or to Bruce. You can put your comments or questions below in the YouTube, and I will be happy to answer.
Yeah, please. Right. If you guys like the video, give a thumbs up there, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We do these webinars every week with Joseph. Joseph, just a heads up. Actually, we're not going to do the options this quarter, the options webinar series. In fact, we're going to do a crypto webinar series.
Okay.
And we're going to do that soon. And I need to actually meet with you and cover some new features that we're releasing actually tomorrow. So everyone be on the lookout for this. It's really an amazing tool, and get you kind of schooled up on it, Joseph. So then we'll have the webinar next week.
Absolutely, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's really pretty amazing indicator. I really like it and think it just offers a level of transparency that's pretty unique.
Perfect, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So traders, thank you very much for being with us. And Bruce, again, an amazing host. Thank you, traders, and see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph.